minus 40 seconds.
Minus 40 seconds.
Glide కిటికేసేసి లైటింగ్ వస్తుంది.
Minus 30 seconds.
Real time programs activated.
Roger. Roger. Minus 25 seconds. Minus 20 seconds.
Minus 20.
గుడ్డ పెట్టి త్వరగా
15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2,
200 ignited,
plus 3,
vehicle lift off.
plus 4, plus 5, plus 6, plus 7, plus 8, normal, plus 10
Just
seconds.
heard the announcement, lift off normal.
Remote running, plus 15 seconds,
15 seconds into the flight.
plus 20 seconds, plus engine performance normal,
Indicated as
plus
normal.
35 seconds, plus 30 seconds, plus 35 seconds,
Plus 25 seconds.
plus 40 seconds,
40 seconds into the flight.
plus 45 seconds,
6, 7 kilometers.
plus 50 seconds,
50 seconds.
first aid performance normal, plus 55 seconds,
First aid performance is indicated
Selfie.
normal. So we
Plus
have
1
the next 55 seconds ignition of the L110 liquid engine.
Charming main auto,
75 seconds.
main auto,
Vehicle at 18.7 kilometers.
first aid performance normal,
First stage performance normal as indicated by the range operation director.
plus 1 minute 30 seconds,
So 90 seconds into the flight. Another 22 seconds will have the ignition of the L110 stage, which again is a very important activity. And if we look at the plots of the time versus altitude and velocity, we see a very close match with the pre-flight and the flight predictions.
L110 ignited,
Yes, L110
plus
core
2
booster
minutes,
has been ignited at exactly 114.9 seconds. The vehicle is at an altitude around 51.5 kilometers.
performance normal,
And L40 ignition and performance has been indicated normal. हम इस वक्त रॉकेट के पहले चरण के फेज से गुजर रहे हैं. जैसे कि आपने सुना, S200 रॉकेट जो जमीन पर इग्नाइट हो गया था.
S200 separated,
Just now we heard the announcement S200 solid stop-on has been
Plus 2 minutes,
successfully
30
separated
seconds.
at 141.2 seconds, and vehicle has entered the closed loop guidance in the second phase of flight. So अब तक सॉलिड इंजन वाले चरणों का परफॉर्मेंस बिल्कुल नॉर्मल था. रॉकेट की ऊंचाई और गति बिल्कुल जैसे विश्लेषण किया गया था उसी तरह से काम करता हुआ. दूसरा चरण L110 स्टेज अभी इग्नाइट हो चुका है और अभी हमने रेंज ऑपरेशन डायरेक्टर से घोषणा सुनी कि ये सही सलामत काम कर रहा है. राइट नाउ वी आर एट 180 seconds and the altitude is around 95 kilometers.
L110 performance normal,
And we again heard the announcement of the normal performance of L110 stage. As per the nominal sequence, at 224 seconds we should have the separation of the heat shield. So we are at 200 seconds, altitude 105 kilometers, and very shortly we'll hear the announcement of separation of the payload fairing.
L110 performance normal,
L110 stage performance is normal. As far as the range of the vehicle is concerned, it's almost traveled 200 kilometers from the launch base. It's an altitude of around 117 kilometers. And heat shield has been successfully separated at 225.7 seconds. As far as the velocity is concerned, we have almost a 2.5 kilometer velocity has been imparted to the vehicle. The final injection velocity is out of 9.8 kilometer per second. The next important event will be the separation of
performance normal,
L110 ton separation, which should happen at 320 seconds. So roughly around 80 seconds to go. As I was mentioning earlier, L110 stage uses the Vikas engine, which is being used for L40 stages of GSLV, the liquid strap-on boosters, the second stage of GSLV, and the second stage of PSLV as well. But the duration here is almost for 200 seconds as against 145 to 150 seconds being used for the
L110 performance
PSLV.
normal.
So L110 ton stage performance is indicated as normal. 3.5 km per second, range of around 410, and very close match of the altitude and the velocity as a function of time during the S200 and L110 phase of flight. So 320 seconds, we should hear the announcement of the separation of the 110. After which, yes, L110 tons has been successfully separated, and 318.6 seconds. And C25 ignition has been confirmed at 325.4 seconds. So C25 ignition has been confirmed.
Pre-ignition confirmed, performance normal.
And the C25 ignition and performance of the C25 engine is confirmed as nominal. So we are at 350 kilometers, velocity of 4,
Performance normal.
and range of almost 633. So this is a very important announcement of successful ignition of the cryogenic engine for the first time in the flight, and the performance being indicated as absolutely nominal for this mission. As you are aware, in the GSLV Mark III, the earlier flight which was done in December 2014, we had only the S200 and N110 stage and the passive C25 stage. So this is the first flight where the active cryogenic stage is being flown for the first time. And just now we heard the announcement, the C25 performance is normal. So we'll have a burn time of almost 600 plus seconds into this flight. As for the nominal sequence, we should have the C25 shutoff command being issued at 964 seconds. We are roughly around 400 seconds into the flight. 4.3 kilometers. In fact, if you look at the velocity that is being delivered by the cryogenic stage during these 650 seconds of burning, almost 50% of the velocity required for the
Plus 7 minutes.
for injecting the satellite Gsat 19 into a GP orbit being imparted by this very important cryogenic stage. This is C25 is the heaviest cryogenic stage ever built by ISRO so far. If you may recall, for the GSLV, we have used a 12.5 ton of cryogenic engine with a thrust of only around 7.5 ton. However, this particular engine, which uses almost 28 tons of propellant, generates a thrust of nearly 18 to 20 tons. So look at the flight parameters. A very close match with the what you're seeing on the bottom of the screen is the altitude plot. The red one is the pre-flight prediction, and the one, the dotted one is the one where the vehicle is presently flying. So all time versus altitude, time versus velocity, a very close match. 4.6 km per second. The view of the launch control center.
Plus 8 minutes.
So another 5 km per second velocity needs to be imparted. The actual velocity at the time of cryogenic shutoff should be 9.8 km per second, relative velocity. There is a continuous increase in the velocity during the C25 stage. 510 seconds into the flight, velocity around 4.9. And the vehicle has a downrange of 1,330 kilometers, and it has reached an altitude around 233 kilometers now. Another 200 seconds to go nearly. I think as we go through the cryogenic stage of flight, I would just like to highlight the communication satellite, Gsat 19, which is being flown on this mission now. So Gsat 19 communication satellite is configured around ISRO standard I3K bus, and as I mentioned, it has a liftoff mass of around 3,136 kilograms, and the main structure of the satellite is cuboid in shape. It has primarily two solar arrays which generate almost 4.5 kilowatts of electrical power,